friends, my name is Christy Urbano and I'm a librarian at the Brookline Village Library, and I'm so excited to welcome you to our second Craft Along Junior video and to teach you this month's project, which is going to be a mini concrete flower pot. And we've also included some soil and seeds so you can start your own tiny garden. If you haven't heard about the Craft Along Kit program that we've just started, we are so excited about it. Our librarians have packed up more than 400 of these craft kits for the rest of 2020. We'll be releasing one every 4 weeks for the rest of the year. And there are two different levels of kits. There's the Craft Along Junior, that's this video here. And there's also a Craft Along for older makers. So this one is for ages 5 to 9, and the other program is for ages 10 to 110. So all of your teens, tweens, and adults. And we're so excited about this project and so thankful to the Brookline Library Foundation, as well as the Institute of Museum and Library Services through the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, who are helping to fund this project. You can order a kit online each month and pick it up through contactless pickup at any of the 3 Brookline Library locations. And inside there's a link to one of these videos and you can follow along and make the craft. And if you don't get a craft kit, that's a-okay. You can still follow along. We're posting the list of materials in advance so you can order them and get your own if you don't get a ticket. Or you can watch the rest of this video and see what is inside of this month's kit. So let's get started. Okay friends, so whenever we're ready, we're gonna pull out our concrete mix that's in a paper bag, our plastic measuring cup, and our wooden stirrer. We're also gonna get some tap water from the sink. And if you have it at home, a colander is really helpful to get all the bigger chunks of rock out of our concrete mix. This is gonna be pretty messy, so you're gonna want a grown up, and you might even wanna take this outside because you're probably gonna get some concrete mix everywhere you are. So just get ready for that. Maybe put down some paper. So we're gonna start by sifting some of the concrete mix, or if you're doing it by hand, that's totally fine. You can just sift it through your fingers and kind of catch the biggest rocks into our measuring cup. We don't need to do all of the concrete mix that's in your bag. We gave you a lot more than you really need in case your first batch comes out a little funky. You'll still have plenty of extra to try again. But you're gonna want maybe 2 ounces or so on your measuring cup, maybe a little bit more. And then you're gonna add a little bit, start with a tiny bit of water because you can always add more on top of your concrete mix. And you're gonna make a little tiny bowl out of your concrete mix to help it mix. So you want it higher on the sides. And pour that into the center. And then you're gonna take your wooden stirrer and start mixing. Whenever you're happy with your concrete mix and it seems kind of like a thin pancake batter is about what we're going for if you've made pancakes at home, then you're going to take your silicone mold and you're going to put it down and you're going to very carefully pour your concrete mix into your silicone mold. And you want to make sure you get all the way down into this outside edge. So that's why we took the big rocks out, because this is a really thin mold on the edges, so a big rock can get in the way and keep your mold from filling all the way up. you're going to want to pop any tiny little bubbles that you see on the top so that those don't come out. You can give it a little shake to make sure it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to leave this sit for at least 2 hours. I recommend just leaving it overnight if you can. If you do this right before you go to bed, then you can just leave it sit and come back to it the next day and it'll be totally set. Okay, so once you've let your concrete dry either for a few hours or overnight, we get to do the fun part and decorate. So it's time to take your concrete flower pot out of the mold. You can do that just by peeling it down off the sides, and it should pop right off, and give it a little twist to get it out. And you'll see you have your tiny little concrete flower pot and you're ready to get painting. So we've included 5 different colors of paint. This final tub on the end is going to be Modge Podge, and that's going to be your final layer just to protect whatever paint you put on the outside from the water that you're going to use to water your plants. So you can see I did one earlier. I decorated mine with some fun triangles in different colors, and then I let that paint dry and did a coat of the Modge Podge over top of the whole outside of my flower pot. And as you can see, it dries totally clear, so it's not going to mess up your pretty design, whatever you decide to do. So once you have done that, we'll continue the next step and actually plant our vegetables or herbs, whatever you got in your pack. So whenever you finish decorating your flower pot and your final coat of Modge Podge is totally dry on the outside, then you're ready to get planting. So we've included this little soil packet, and you'll need either, you can rinse out the cup you use to mix your concrete, or you can grab any old mug and spoon that you have around the house, and you're just going to break up this little pod into a few little pieces and add a little bit of tap water again and give it a stir. And then you can fill your flower pot with it. Next, you can just open up your seed packet. We labeled all the seed packets with what's inside, but they're all different vegetables and herbs, and they're all organic seeds. Make a little bit of space in your soil and shake a few of the seeds inside, and then add maybe a little bit more dirt on top. And a little bit of extra water to get your plant started so everything's nice and moist. And all that's left to do is to stick this in a sunshiny window somewhere and wait for your seeds to grow. And you just want to keep this soil a little bit moist, not too moist, especially I didn't add any sort of drainage pebbles at the bottom, so we don't want to get it too wet or it'll get soggy. If you have some tiny rocks left over from your concrete mix that you didn't use, you could actually use those as drainage pebbles underneath your soil just to give your plants a little bit of breathing room. But I'm going to stick this in my windowsill, and maybe I'll send y'all a picture once I have some little sprouts going. Thank you all so much for crafting with us today. We would love to see what you made with your kit, so please feel free to share your project with us on social media using the hashtag #MakeYourOwnStory. We're also so thankful to our sponsors for helping us make this project possible. The ideaSPACE program is funded in part by the Brookline Library Foundation, as well as federal funds from the Institute of Museum and Library Services, which is administered by the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners. If you enjoyed participating today, or if you have ideas for making this program better, please let us and our sponsors know by filling out the survey that's linked in the description. It's only 3 questions long, and it really helps us improve our services and show our partners what kind of programs they might want to fund in the future. If you didn't get a kit this month, or you would like to craft along with us again, our next reservations will open up on Eventbrite at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. From all of us here at the library, we miss you so much and wish you very happy making.